knowing that we're dealing with unpredictability, what should business owners focus on and plan for?
It's a great question, a very honest and sensible one. Thank you for the question. I think in a methodological sense, aside from everything I've said about the importance of anchoring ourselves in our identity, in Christ, and looking beyond ourselves, there is the practical reality, right, of running a business. And so I think getting as much advice as you can from as many sources as you can, and seeing what different people are saying, is a very helpful way to start. I think, good leadership, including business leadership, is about, getting as much advice as you can from as many people as you can, and then making a decision based on your instincts and your convictions, based on what you know, and then going forward from there. So there is going to be uncertainty. I think the 4 principles that are useful for people, and these are not mine. These I think are pretty widely understood. But the important thing is to make them real for you and to inject some kind of moral fuel into these things, because they can become a little bit sterile and profit-driven. But my suggestion is to take care of these 4 things in this order in relation to your business. Take care of people, take care of supply, take care of demand, and take care of cash. And those are very easy things to say, but you just need to work out what that actually means for you in your business. Take care of people is pretty obvious. It's the people that your business employs. It's the people that your business deals with and works with. It's you, your family. Make sure you're okay. Supply and demand obviously will look different for every single business. I'm not sure if you're a small business, you're in the service sector, you're manufacturing, whatever it might be. But when demand drops at a time like this, which it invariably has, unless you're one of the big 4 tech firms, demand's dropped pretty much for everyone. Or unless you're a church, actually, that's the other sector where demand has gone up. But in terms of transactions, demand has dropped. When demand drops, we can still focus on supply. So I think it's sensible and prudent in a business context to innovate whatever it is that you're actually offering. Think about your USP, whatever your unique selling point is. Work on that, develop that. And this applies to everyone. It doesn't really matter what area of business you're in. A good example is for us at RZIM, we had started the process of digital transformation last year. We knew that this sort of time would come. We didn't think it would come this quickly and it would be this important, but we had to deal with how we supply what we do. We try and bring the credibility of the message of Jesus Christ to the questions of culture, and that happened in such a sharp way to shift to the digital platform. And then the nature of our content as well had to shift and prepare itself to channel that same message of Jesus through these new circumstances. And that's our supply chain. I don't want to make it sound too quantitative, but we had to do that. So it doesn't matter how bad demand is, you can still focus on supply. New products, new services, how you deliver them. And then demand obviously is difficult because sometimes it's just not there at the moment. But to court new consumer bases, to think about who you've been working with, to maybe build new relationships and so forth. And then finally to take care of cash. And again, that's much easier to say than to do, but it's the companies and the businesses out there that have liquidity, that have operating buffers in their cash flow and in their cash holdings that have somewhat of a buffer. So I hope that's helpful. Obviously, to place as an overlay to everything I've already said about the need to actually anchor beyond the economic realities.
Absolutely. And Max, as we think about the some of the stuff that we have experienced during this time of global pandemic, some of the ways that, as you mentioned, businesses have had to learn to adapt and digitize in order to deliver services. We've also seen a lot of ingenuity come from this time. And tonight is an example of that. Noetic Shift and RZIM being able to partner together. We have Dwayne is speaking to everyone from Hamilton. I'm coming to you from another room in Toronto. And Max is speaking to us from Singapore. And so that we can see the way that ministries and businesses have been learning to not only adapt in order to do what we used to do, but even reach people further away than we ever have. And I know there's people tuning in tonight from across Canada and as far away as Venezuela. And so wow. Everyone tuning in, you're welcome. But this is a good example of how working together, we're able to learn to do things perhaps even more effectively. And so Max,